Alright, today we're solving Leetcode's Roman to integer challenge. Roman numerals are represented by 7 different symbols: I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. It gives us a key with the symbols and their values. It tells us Roman numerals are usually written largest to smallest from left to right. However, there are 6 instances where subtraction is used. I can be placed before V and X to make 4 and 9. X can be placed before L and C to make 40 and 90. And C can be placed before D and M to make 400 and 900. The goal is to convert the Roman numeral to an integer and return that integer. Here we have example 3's input, which has an expected output of 1994 because m equals 1000, cm equals 900 because c comes before m, so we have 1000 minus 100, xc is 100 minus 10, which equals 90, and iv is 5 minus 1, which is 4. These all sum up to 1994. For our approach, we're going to utilize the sliding window technique with a single for loop. This solution has a big O(n) time complexity and constant space complexity. The general idea is we're going to loop through the input string starting at the 0 index, and we're going to compare the current value and the next value. If the current value is less than the next value, then we have a situation where we need to subtract. So we'll take the next value and subtract the current value from it and add that to the result. If the current value is greater than the next value, we simply need to add the current value to the result. So to start us off, we have a current value of 1000 and a next value of 100. The current value is greater than the next value, so we just add 1000 to the result. The for loop increments, and now we have a current value of 100 and a next value of 1000. Since the current value is less than the next value, we need to subtract. 1000 minus 100 gives us 900, and we add that to the result, which now equals 1900. Now in situations where we subtract, we also need to increment by 2 rather than by 1, because we accounted for both the current and next Roman numeral in this iteration. So that puts our for loop at an index of 3, which gives us a current value of 10 and a next value of 100. Our current value is less than the next value, so we need to subtract again. 100 minus 10 gives us 90, and we add that to the result, giving us a new result of 1990. Our for loop iterates and our index increments by 2, giving us an index of 5. Our current value is 1 and our next value is 5. So again, we have another subtraction situation. 5 minus 1 is 4. We add that to the result, and our result equals 1994. Our for loop iterates and our index increments ahead by 2, which puts us out of bounds. The for loop exits, and we return 1994. Let's translate this to code. Okay, to start, we're going to initialize a variable called numerals that's going to have an object containing our numerals and their corresponding values. I'm just going to copy paste it in here to save some time. Next, we'll initialize a variable called result with the value of 0. We'll set up our for loop. We'll initialize an index with a value of 0. We'll check that the index is less than the length of our string, and then we will increment the index by 1 when the code block is finished executing. Inside of our for loop, we're going to store the current and next values in variables. First, we'll check if the current value is less than the next value. If it is, we'll subtract the current value from the next value and add it to the result. Then we'll increment by 1 here. Remember, in this situation, we need the index to increment ahead 2 indices. So although we're incrementing by 1 here, the for loop increments again when it iterates, so we do in fact increment by 2. Else, our current value is greater than the next value, and we just need to add it to the result here. When our for loop exits, we're just going to return the result. And that's our solution. Let's copy and paste this in Leetcode. Okay, let's paste it in here. Hit submit. And we get an accepted solution. Thank you for watching.